to Elizabeth. I was at the cottage. It came from there.
Did you go back there after talking with Elizabeth?
Oh, I don't think so. No. I think I fell asleep. I think I fell asleep. Oh. And it seemed, when I would ask him, God, show me what to do. I remember it was, I don't know if I was seeing a light or seeing it in my head.
Why would God have you kill those women? Okay, so that seems kind of counterintuitive. Like, what reason could there be for that?
No, to me it seemed like God was trying to show me that the commandment isn't thou shalt not kill, it is thou shalt not murder, and that when it's murder to kill somebody that's innocent. That's why I couldn't kill myself, because I thought about shooting myself, but I can't do that because I am innocent. I didn't do it wrong. Because that would be me murdering myself. Does that make any sense?
It does.
And
So Carol,
and so no, the way you're saying it would be counterintuitive, no. It seemed that I understand it, that that's what God was saying was the right thing to do.
so in terms of Carol and Anastasia and Natalie, would you say you killed them or murdered them?
I killed them because they were not innocent. They were guilty. I was innocent. I done nothing wrong. So in God's eyes,
Mm-hmm. And
it doesn't make sense, does it?
no, it does make sense. Especially when you talk about the change in diction with the Bibles, right? Murder versus kill.
The change in,
Well, remember when they changed the Bible from the initial, like the King James, it was murder, and then they changed it to kill?
I don't know why they changed. Some Bibles say kill. I know the older
Yeah.
ones all say murder. That's all I
Yeah.
don't know. But it makes sense to me, because if it said, I believe the Bible is perfect. If the Bible said, thou shalt not kill, we couldn't eat meat. That made it simple as that. Because the Bible is literal, means what it says. It's not like us people that, people say something and it means absolutely.
So when you say that Natalie and Anastasia and Carol are not innocent, it's because of all these wrongdoings they did to you over the years, that stealing everything that you have. That's where the innocence
And
is missing.
lying to the police to achieve, I didn't lie. It's all about lies, not about the money and the things, it's lie. I will not lie. If I do tell a lie, it's to protect somebody, like my daughter, or I will avoid, and that's a lie to avoid sometimes, but it's always to.
Basil, you tell me that you don't lie, and you would only lie if you were protecting somebody from...
Which I would call it.
Yeah. Are you lying to me when you say you don't remember how you killed those women? When you're talking about this zombie and seeing outside yourself and God telling you, are you lying to
I
me?
never told you that. What did you say?
When you tell me that you don't remember clearly what's happening after you left Elizabeth, Remember you talked about, you said you feel like a zombie
Yeah.
and you don't remember everything? Are you lying about that?
I never said I don't remember. I don't, I'm not, I think you're putting words in my
Oh no, I'm not. This is the last thing I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to clarify what you're saying. That's all I want to do. I do not want to put words in your mouth. I just want to understand what you're saying.
I'm not lying about zombie. I'm not lying about driving.
Okay.
I'm not lying about praying. I'm not lying about asking God to show me where to go. And because I wondered why I'm in daycare and wherever I was. I don't remember daycare. I remember the sign. And
Did you want
what are you
the,
asking me? Am I lying about?
when you said you felt like a zombie and you couldn't remember?
No, I'm not lying.
Okay.
I'm telling
That's all.
you.
That's all I was asking you.
No, you just said more. You asked me if you were putting word. That's not what you asked me. You asked me if I remember.
If you do remember everything.
I don't remember everything, not yet.
Okay.
I think that I remember more this morning. I sure as hell did last night because that guy wanted to talk to me, I told him on the phone, I said, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to listen. I'm so tired. And he said, well, then hang up the phone. I don't know what he said. I don't know.
Well, you know lots of things because we've been talking for a while now, and clearly you're doing a great job of remembering some things, and you're understanding what I'm saying, and you're aware that you can talk to a lawyer at any time. So, I mean, you're clearly with me in the moment right now, I would say.
I don't think I'm clearly in the moment with you right now. I don't think that I don't think I told you for weeks, months maybe. I've been telling everybody I'm going to blow or explode, and it feels like my head is so full of things and nobody listens, and I feel like I'm all.
Well, what kind of things was it full of?
I just told you, I feel like I'm alone, or there's nobody helping me, and over and those things. What I'm telling you is what I'm talking about, and panic and feelings of loss.
Hurt, I would guess, by what you're describing. I think if somebody was laughing at me, like a girl.
No, not the hurt is only in the last few.
I think Carol laughing at you with your boyfriend would hurt
You're not
anybody.
listening. No, I'm talking about in the last month or longer, 2 months, I've been telling people in this book, I may have felt hurt in the last 4, 5 days.
Okay.
But not because hurt wasn't part of it, it was alone. I've been thinking a lot about how alone I am in this world, and I'm thinking about how the police took everything away on me and my family, and my brothers and sisters, because I realize that even my own family, they have doubts about Basil now. And there's I don't blame them because it's so much, it's overload, and I guess overload is what's happened to me. And no, I don't even feel like my family treats me like part of the family anymore.
Do you remember when I told you earlier when we started talking that's why?
But my family has seen my ex-wife do crazy things, like see devils coming through walls, like sleeping with my cousin at my brother's wedding, like lots of stuff. But my family has never come forward. When my wife does crazy things and blames them on me and accuses me, my family has never come forward and said, she's the one that's nuts, she's done this. They never ever came to it.
They're not taking your side.
They don't, and Marianne brings always brought a whole barrage of her family, her mother, and sister, and they're all hiding the big family secret that they have a brother that is a pedophile, and I always look like the.
Well, that would certainly explain why you feel alone all the time, Basil. People in your own family treating you like that.
Well, it's not that they're treating me like that, it's just that they don't want to get involved, and I don't know. But it has evolved to the point now where I think if they would have in the beginning, the very first time, my wife one time took her top off in the car with my brother, and my brother actually came back and told me. That was good. But another brother saw my wife screwing my first cousin, who was his buddy, in the car. He never told me till 7 years later. That's not good. It's better to know the truth. He thought more of his cousin than me, his own brother.
Can't get caught in the truth, right?
You can't get caught in the truth. That was my dad saying. Have you ever heard that before?
Just because you told me your dad told you that.
Have you ever heard that before?
I can't say that I have, no.
Does that make sense to you?
It makes perfect sense, yeah. Especially in my line of work, right?
I have lived by that all my life.
I can tell you firsthand, that's exactly how people get themselves in trouble, lying. Getting caught in the lies.
But the problem is people don't get themselves in trouble, lies. People lie about people to hide what they done. And that would be my ex-wife, this Laura Lee Kelly. And there's some men that don't ever think a good thing for women, because there's men out there that have stuck knives in my back. Mm-hmm. But it always goes back to money. And I get away from the Bible. Even that night, I was reading to that lady about money is not, I can't remember the words, but I just know the feeling. I have had that in me. Believe this or not, I am poor, filthy poor. I live at $850 a month. I had a little bit of RSPs and things, cash hidden aside. I don't even know how I ever done it this long lasted. With Carol, I tried to tell her that money means nothing to me. She, at one point, said to me, this is my cottage. She kind of took offense that I had done so much work there, because I had built a deck without asking her. I surprised her. I thought it was like a gift. And I connected 2 decks, stuff like that. So we had she thought that I was taking over, and we got over it. I told her, I said, okay, I want to start on no projects. I'm sorry, it was a gift. Whatever. Where was I going with that? Oh, money. I wanted on, Carol knew all about Anastasia and Natalie, and my ex-wife was the same with the money, and Laura Lee Kelly. And there's a few men in my life, which I don't want to even go into that, not gay, but men, dealings, things that I've gotten the old dagger in the back from. I'll tell you, I don't care. When I was driving around, I went to Natalie. You're really going to hear it now. I remember this. When I was with Natalie, there's a big fat guy. I have no idea what his name is. He owns a sawmill in White Lake. I found out through the grapevine. All I know is the big guy. Natalie was buying the backhoes from the big fat guy, and he always came with a nephew. And lots of times, Natalie would tell me to go out because it was for, he said he wanted little peewee eggs for his sister. So we saved small eggs. This is, a couple of years back. Natalie somehow got a deal going through him, told me that she leased a backhoe from Quebec. The backhoe was on the farm. I can't remember how much she told me that the backhoe cost per month, but it seemed awfully cheap. But anytime I would say anything, she talked French on the phone. I don't know who she was talking to. And then she had papers that were in French, and she told me this was
What happened at Natalie's after Carol's?
Then after Natalie put me in jail for saying that I was going to hang that kid, which I did not do, never intended to, never even crossed my mind. I'm in jail. She continued to sell backhoes, and she flaunted one, drove it around. I knew that it was stolen. She had a boy driving around and leave it out in the middle of the field. They were trying to, and anyway, the police went there and found some stuff. But this other man, Jimmy McClement, apparently moved 4 backhoes. I always found out this stuff from the farm. They were being delivered to the back of the farm for 2 New Holland yellow, some other. Anyway, Natalie tried to put the blame on me. When police finally came and found that backhoe, Natalie called the guy and told him, I'm in the clear. She put the finger blamed on me.
Natalie
doesn't make
Natalie
sense.
is not innocent. That's very clear in all this, from what you're telling me.
Part that I don't understand is why did the police go there? They found this stuff there. I'm in jail, so I couldn't possibly have anything to do with this. But instead of charging her or looking into it, she got off with nothing. And when I got out of jail, they started watching me because they thought that I was some sort of a kingpin in a stolen backhoe ring. And the funny thing is, I'll never forget this Bruce Sawbridge cop was the guy. He called me. He said, Basil, you know how this goes. Do you want me to surround the place or do you want me to just come and pick you up at the farm, whatever? I said, well, just come pick me up. And I'm talking to him and I realized I didn't even know why he was there. And I thought, this is probably about those stupid stolen backhoes. And I was at the car and I said to him, can I go back to the house to get something? And he said, no. He said, can I send my partner to get it? If he would have let me go back, I wanted to go back and grab that lease paper that Natalie said was from the backhoe. And because I thought that's what it was about. I thought I was going to be charged with something to do with the backhoes that Natalie, and it was nothing to do with that. Even though by that time I knew that backhoe was stolen. Because I told her, I got it out of her, I forget how I done it. I said, there's something wrong here, Natalie. It's too cheap. How could that company make money? But then anyway, when I'm in jail, I know for a fact, and if the police wanted to figure it out, all they had to do was go to the neighbor because there's a garage next door. And I'm sure the neighbor must have seen the backhoes leaving that property because they'd have to drive it right or float them right past. But they didn't. They didn't want to. Nobody wanted to prove that Basil's innocent. They wanted to find a way to make Basil guilty instead of. And then Natalie laughed about it and told one of the guy said, "I caught her one that she was in the clear." And then I got a letter from her lawyer saying that when I got out of jail, that if I wanted to collect my backhoe and some else stuff, I was supposed to contact the OPP. So they were trying to get me to go and say that. I couldn't believe it. Like, how, I don't know if the police put the lawyer up to that. I don't know what the real thing.
Basil, after all this stuff has happened, the one thing I want to ask you, did you want the police to kill you?
Yeah. Because then I would have to kill myself.
Because then you would be going against.
Right.
The only thing, I understand that line of thinking, you explained that very well. The only thing I don't understand is the note that you left for the police in the Ottawa area saying that you don't have a gun, don't shoot me. What, that kind of goes against that. Why did that
Because
happen?
at that time I had sat in about 3 different places and I had been writing, and I thought that if I wrote it out as, and for me, when I was writing it, I thought this is the most clear thing I've ever done, was try to write it, and it made sense, and I thought maybe I shouldn't die, maybe I asked. I was still a little bit in the game of God there, and I thought God was helping me write it. God took me there, God took me. And I thought that maybe I should stay alive, and that, no, there was more. I remember thinking, if I'm dead, who will explain this? Or something. I don't know. And then I decided I put the gun down first. And then I walked a little piece. Then I wrote on 1 page. And I hung it on a branch. Don't murder me.
Well, you're exactly right, and there's no one to explain, right?
I have no gun or something. I can't remember what I wrote. And then, but up until that point, I was hoping that fucking just without me knowing I would. I was actually hoping when the helicopter flew over that it sent a torpedo down.
So what is it you think you're left here to explain, Basil? What is it you want to, what's your message in all this?
It is no message, it's vindication would have been. But you're not following me here. There's 2 things. It's like me walking, being the zombie, and me over here looking at the zombie. It's like a lot of what I'm telling you is history of 20 years got to here. And then there's the zombie part. So the guy watching the zombie is me. The guy that's watching the zombie is how I got here. Does that make sense to you? The 20 years of my ex-wife, where it started to.
There's always a reason why something happens,
Does
right?
that make any sense?
Of course it is. There's always a reason why things happen, and you get 20 years of reasons. As I think you've tried to explain here today.
And I know I'm nut cracked or something, or that doesn't make sense. I never experienced a zombie or the. I don't even know how I just told you what I did.
Well, because you tell the truth. That's what you do.
No, but I can't even explain how I got that. How did I ever figure out that?
Do you remember what you did after you left Carol's?
Of,
Does that help? If you think about it like a chronology? You left Carol's, and somehow you end up at Anastasia's.
I just left Carl's and I said, God, what do I do? And I remember going through a little bit of construction and I just drove in. And I remember thinking that God is really helping me because when I went to Carl's, Carl walked right outside.
Mm-hmm. What did you do?
And then I asked her, I said, why do you hate me? Or why are you doing this to me, Purple? And then she closed the door. I was right there. And then I broke the window with my elbow. And I reached in and I unlocked the door. And she said, this is not you, Basil. This is not you.
And then what happened?
Then she told me that Dave was coming over because the hydro was out. And I said, you're lying to me again. And there was a cable TV coil. I picked it up and I hit her with it and I wrapped it around her head. And she just kept saying, this is not you, Basil, this is not you. And then then I walked around in the cottage. I dumped the bag on the table, and her purse maybe or something. Got her keys. And I remember taking my cell phone because I thought I was going to read it to see who this guy was, but I never did. I ended up throwing it out the window. I remember throwing it. But that was already near Eganville somewhere, way later. Eganville. I didn't even go to Eganville.
Basil,
Ah,
take my hand for a second.
for
I
what?
just want to shake your hand. I want to thank you for being the guy that you said you are this whole time we've been here, a truthful, good person. It's a rare experience I get to meet somebody who actually walks the talk to preaching.
Walks like what?
Well, you said you 9 out of 10, you're a truthful person. And you don't lie unless it's to protect somebody, other than the little white lies.
I'm not sure why.
Well, that's what you're doing right now. You're being truthful.
Doesn't matter. Why would I lie? What does it matter? Think about
It's just like you said, you never get caught in the truth, right?
Should remember that one. You should remember that.
I'm going to.
Everybody should remember that.
I'm going to.